Hello, class. My name is Caleb Theobald, and today I'm going to be talking about supporting local businesses. So, two questions I'm going to be asking today is why it's important to support local businesses and how we can support local businesses. This is something that I really learned a lot about while I was working at the Lord's Library because it showed me a lot about how we need to support these local businesses and why we need to support these local businesses. So the first question is why we should support local businesses. The simple answer to this is they care about and are invested in the well-being of your community and its future. Local businesses are more accountable to their local communities and donate more money to nonprofits. Supporting local business is good for the environment because they often have a smaller carbon footprint than larger companies. So yes, generally, local businesses are more invested in the community and they care more about it as well. And something cool is my friends who are on the robotics team, a while back, they were going to these different businesses to raise money so they could go to tournament this year before COVID-19 happened. And the cool thing is a lot of these local businesses actually donated a little bit of money so they were able to go this summer before COVID happened. And then with carbon footprint, yeah, it helps the environment too because fewer people go into local businesses. While big corporations, it's a lot more people going in. Another reason that you should support local businesses are it supports the local economy and community. So in other words, whenever you buy at a local business, that money stays within the town and it helps the community out as well, plus the economy. And because if you were to go like to some place like Walmart or some other big corporation, then that money would leave the community. But when you buy something like at a local business, that money stays within the community and it helps the economy out in the long run. Another reason you should support local businesses is it's centrally located. You don't have to go that far to get something you want or need. For example, Merle's Music. If Merle's Music wasn't here, musicians would have to either drive to Springfield or St. Louis to get stuff they needed for their instruments or to get music books or whatever. But since Merle's Music is in Rolla, then all they have to do if they live in Rolla is go to that store. And it's just really convenient. Another reason you should support local businesses are independent is the personalized customer service. Independent business owners generally care more about the people in the neighborhoods they serve, often delivering exceptional, personalized, and sometimes unexpected customer service. I really found this out a lot when I was working at the store because I got to meet a lot of cool people through that, and some of them are my closest friends today. Another reason you should support these local businesses are sometimes they get you a really good deal. So, for example, a while back, I got this 3D printer at Surplus, and I would have had to pay $400, $500 for it if I would have bought it off Amazon. And instead, the person sold it to me for $130. So that was a really good deal. Another reason that you should support these local businesses are it helps create local job opportunities. So say if you're a high schooler like me, you want to get a job, but you don't want to work at a fast food place. Well, lucky for you, because some of these local businesses are hiring and they really hire a lot of people. Plus, when I worked at a local business, my hours were a lot more flexible than what they would have been if I worked at a fast food joint or something. So that's a cool thing. So the next question I want to ask is, how do we support these local businesses? Well, the simple answer and the best answer that I found for this is local business is essential for our economy. They bring growth and innovation to our communities. They provide employment and create entrepreneurship opportunities, and support the local economies, communities, and neighborhoods. Some of the ways I think that we can help and support our local businesses are shop locally. So whenever you can, shop locally. If you can, just buy something at that local business or something. And some of the ways that can help you do this is budget for it. So set aside a small sum in your personal budget each month specifically for local shopping. Then what you want to buy something at a local store, but you're hesitating over the price, you have the money in your budget. For instance, if a local independent bookstore is charging $20 for a book that's only $14 on Amazon, count the extra $6 as part of your local shopping budget for the month. Another way that you can help these local businesses are go local for services. Goods are often cheaper at big box stores that sell cheap, mass-produced wares. However, services are often just as cheap or even cheaper when you buy them locally. For example, when I needed to print up a bunch of mailers for a folk festival, I volunteered for a local print shop, gave me a better price, and was much more convenient to use than Kinko's. Likewise, taking a pair of worn-out shoes to my local shoe repair shop for resoling is cheaper than buying a new pair. Another thing that you can do during the holiday season is shop local. Shopping local is an excellent choice for holiday gifts because a present feels more special when it comes from your hometown. Each year, American Express sponsors an event called Small Business Saturday. On the Saturday that Thanksgiving, to encourage people to start their holiday shopping at local businesses, and many independent businesses offer special sales on this day. Other local businesses have exclusive deals or events for Paid Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, as an alternative to Black Friday sales at major retailers. Another thing that you can do is eat locally. Whenever you eat out or something, try to eat at a local place. Like in Rolla, there's a few local places that really taste good, like Alex's Pizza and Penelope's. Both are really good places to eat. So whenever you can, try to eat locally. Another thing that helps with this, and this is for your benefit, is quality. Farmers markets produce it usually fresher than the goods sold at supermarkets, since farmers grow the food locally. It hasn't spent days or weeks traveling across the country. The fresher fruits and vegetables are, the better they taste, the more nutrients they retain, and the longer they stay fresh before you eat them. Sustainability is also another cool thing when you shop or eat locally. Locally grown food doesn't have to be shipped long distances, which reduces its carbon footprint. The amount of greenhouse gases produced in growing, harvesting, and transporting it. Also, most sellers at farmers markets are small-scale growers who can more easily adapt green growing practices. According to the Farmers Market Coalition, nearly half of all farmers markets sell organic products, and out of 4 farmers who sell their goods at farmers markets grow food in a way that meet organic standards, even if they don't have official organic certifications. Also, 48% of them use integrated pest management, a method of controlling pests with minimal damage to the environment, and 81% of health practices such as growing cover crops and producing their own compost. And plus, you get better information. Buying directly from the grower is the surest way to know where your food comes from and how it was produced. At a farmer's market, the person behind the counter knows the answer to all kinds of questions the clerk at a supermarket doesn't. For example, they can explain which varieties of apples are better for cooking and which are better for eating, or tell you which breed of chicken produced the egg you're buying and how they raise the hens. Another thing that helps is the atmosphere. Fair market are typically friendlier, more personal setting than big supermarkets. It's much easier to strike up a conversation with a fellow shopper searching through a bin of melons at the farmer's market than with a stranger pushing a cart past you at the grocery store. The Farmers Market Coalition also reports that in a 2015 survey, farmers market shoppers said they typically had 15 to 20 social interactions during each visit as compared to just one or two when they stopped at the supermarket. And another thing that you can do to help local businesses and support the economy and stuff is bank locally. Keep your money at a local community bank or credit union rather than a large national bank. Some of the benefits to this is lower cost. Many locally owned banks and credit unions offer the same services as the big national banks, such as credit cards and online bill payment. However, their rates and fees are typically quite a bit better. The National Credit Union Administration, the federal agency that regulates federal credit unions, reports that compared to banks, credit unions usually offer higher interest rates on deposits, lower interest rates on loans, and lower fees. Furthermore, according to the 2019 Banking Landscape Report from WalletHub, checking accounts from community banks are 48% cheaper than those from national banks, pay 45% more interest, and have more features. Plus, you generally get better service. Community banks and credit unions offer more personalized service because they serve a much smaller area. At a community bank or credit union, the teller will often recognize you, remember your name, and take time to answer your questions. Community banks and credit unions don't always offer the 24-hour phone service you get from the big banks. But anyone who's ever spent time trying to navigate the menu on a national bank's phone lines and connect to a human being knows that isn't much of a drawback. And as I mentioned before, it supports the local economy. Community banks and credit unions make most of their money from loans to local people and businesses. The Institute for Local Self-Reliance, a community development organization, reports that more than half of all loans to small businesses come from small to mid-sized banks and credit unions. Because small local banks make most of their loans within the community, they have an interest in helping that community prosper. Once again, my name is Caleb Theobald, and I've went over why and how it is important to support your local businesses. These are my resources, and thank you.